How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to New Mexico State Men's Basketball News. I'm Marshall, and we have a lot to talk about in today's video, so let's get straight to it. To start with the video, I want to talk about Noah Bridenstine. He was a graduate assistant for the Aggies and coaching his first year here with the program. And I thought a lot of players on the team, they really liked his energy, really liked him as a graduate assistant coach helping out with the program. He's at New Mexico Highlands and actually just got hired as an assistant coach under another assistant coach that we had, Zach Settembre, who was with the Aggies his first year with Houghton. Then I believe he went to Abilene Christian, not Abilene Christian, Charleston State, I can't remember, some school in Texas. Now he's with Highlands as the head coach. So both those guys working together, pretty huge coming out of NMSU. I know Noah also tried to recruit Josiah, who I had on the channel about a month ago almost, which is crazy how how fast it goes. He's an assistant coach at Mayfield, and I know was trying to recruit him as to be a graduate assistant over there at Highlands, but school was just starting, and was obviously really excited at Mayfield. So I believe Josiah's going to stay there for this year. Maybe makes the leap to coach at the collegiate level after that, and that'd be very huge for him to do. I also want to talk about Serge Bright-Rice, who's been playing pretty well overseas for basketball in New York. I don't know his official stats, but I know he's had a couple really good games, including a 38-point performance and a 98-87 win over Opave. Sorry if I mispronounced that. I'm not really great with saying those overseas names. But I'm watching highlights. It looked like he was getting done very easy. It was in a smaller gym. The car wasn't too heavy, but he was balling out, playing very well. I had some people asking me, what the crowds are looking like. A lot of times overseas programs, it really depends on some of them. Some of them do not get the support they deserve, and some of them get a lot of support. It really just depends on when you play. I believe he's playing in a smaller overseas league, but hey, he's playing professional basketball and dropping almost 40, probably averaging to, at least double figures, if not maybe in the 20s. If he had a game like that at that caliber, it looked like he was, with ease. I'm not sure, if Opave is not a great team. They won by 11, so I feel like they're, not too bad of a team. But overall, he's been doing his thing, and hopefully he can keep working his way up for an NBA roster spot in the future. I also want to talk about Robert Carpenter, who's also playing overseas basketball for BC Luella. He played very well in their preseason matchup, had 12 points. I'm not sure if there's any other games, but I posted about it on my social media account, my basketball account for the school, and BC Luella. We've collaborated a lot. So shout out to their social media team, the PR team, whoever runs it. I believe their first game is today, so maybe I'll see something how Rob does. Maybe I'll try to find some stats online or find the game online to keep up with it. Or maybe BC Luella will make some, post about his highlights. They post a lot about all their players, so especially expect to a lot of Robert Carpenter highlights on the basketball page on Instagram and Twitter, and he even here on YouTube possibly. I also want to talk about Jemel Jones, current Aggie, who's going to do a lot of great things for us this year, in my opinion. Like I said multiple times, averaged 18.9 points per game at Cal State Bakersfield, which is awesome. Had a game where he scored 45 points, was top 50 in all of Division I basketball and scoring. So he knows how to put the ball in the hoop, and we have a lot of guys who follow suit, which is why I'm really looking forward to this season and really believe that they have a chance at, winning 20 games, have a chance to win the Conference USA title, and, making the way through to the NCAA tournament, maybe make some noise there. I know Mid-Major Madness picked us to finish second, but they were also in a post explaining how, it's really up to us. The Aggies can finish 6th or 7th, or they can finish second. It's really open, just like football. Blue Ribbon College Basketball Yearbook picked Jemel as, Conference USA Newcomer of the Year and to be first team all-conference. I think some guy from Kennesaw State was picked to finish, as the top player in Conference USA. I think it was Cattle, who played there last year. Simon Cattle, I believe is his name. Really good player, gave us a lot of trouble last year. Zodi played very well against them on the road. Now Jaden Harris is there. They're going to have a good squad. They're picked to finish second. We're picked to finish third, based off, Blue Ribbon. So it's good to see that, we're getting respected. I'm not sure when the official Conference USA rankings or pre-season rankings will go out, but I'd be surprised if we're not in the top 4. Really expecting a lot of good things out of them. Really excited to see, where we're picked to finish. The past 2 years, we were picked to finish like 6th, or I think the first year we were picked to finish 8th out of 9 teams. This past year, we were picked to finish last year we picked to finish like 7th or something, and we exceed those expectations by a decently amount. So I like being the underdog. You look at our football team, for example. We were underdogs against Tulsa, still got the win. We're also underdogs tomorrow against Louisiana Tech. I'd rather be the underdog, because a lot of times when we seem to win. That Auburn game too is a perfect example. But when we seem to be the favorite, we don't always win. So I'll take it. I will say, I do think Jemel has a good shot at, being Conference USA Player of the Year. I was thinking Deontay could have had a title for that, or maybe not even be Conference USA Player of the Year, but at least be one of the top players in conference. And while he's one of the top players on our team, definitely just wasn't one of the top players in conference, but I believe Jemel definitely has the capability to do that. I think his scoring is going to be tremendous. I think him and Deontay's defense will be pretty similar. I think Jemel is about 6'4", 6'5", has a good frame, has long arms. He's pretty strong too, looks stronger than he looks. And I think he's going to be able to score a lot of points, play some bully ball possibly in the paint, especially when we start the year off against a Division II opponent, whether it's Western. Maybe we'll see Jemel versus Keelan head-to-head matchup. That'd be dope. Obviously, I would rather have Jemel, win that battle and have the Aggies win that battle. But if we're blowing them out, maybe let Keelan do his thing a little bit too. I've talked a lot about Evan Gillard II on this channel, and for the Calgary Surge this past year, which their season's over, he had a successful year for them, and they had a successful year overall, got a lot of big wins, and he was a big part of all of it. Averaged 20.1 points per game, 4.8 assists, about 2 to 3 rebounds a game, and then he also averaged about a steal and a half, which is huge. So he was getting it done on both sides of the floor, has a chance to be a really good player in the G League this upcoming season, and again, maybe make an NBA roster spot. He's been out of college for quite some time right now, but a lot of times NBA teams are looking for players fresh out of college or fresh out of overseas, like at a young age. So even though he's a little bit older, still think he has a chance because we've seen guys in the past, make their debuts at an older age. That's why I don't think it's, crazy to say that Teddy Allen or even Serge Rice, who we talked about earlier in the video, have a chance of making a shot in the NBA very soon. I know a lot of people have been asking about when I think the schedule will come out for the full season because we already know our conference schedule. The women's basketball team just posted their full schedule last night, I believe. So I believe that the Aggies, the men's basketball team, their schedule should be coming out sometime within the next week. I believe last year it came out on September 16th, which was a Monday. And this Monday is going to be September 15th. So if I had to guess, I'd say September 15th. Hopefully sooner, maybe a little after, if anything. But I will definitely make a post and a video about that as well when it does happen very soon. What will that schedule consist of? Probably a lot of high mid-major schools is what I should say, if that makes sense. Mid-majors that are really competitive and good, that can compete with high major schools and even beat them. I know UNM's not considered obviously a high major school, but that was a big win we had last year, and they were one of the best teams in the country at some point. So I feel like we have a chance to go toe-to-toe with some really good teams. Obviously, we're in our conference schedule, play 20 games. I'm not sure if it's going to be where you play everybody twice because there's a little more teams now, but we'll still be playing some more conference games. I believe some teams will only be playing once, some will be twice. Never going to play a team 3 times, unless it's in the Conference USA tournament, obviously. We have a home with Abilene Christian. Obviously, we played them at home last year. We lost 78-70, unfortunately. Again, we were leading 29-23 in the first half. Really thought we'd be able to get that win, get a bounce back after 2 losses in the tournament. And then Coach Hooten got ejected that game, which he's pretty well known for. But again, if anything, it helped us out because we ended up winning that UNM game right after. So we'll be playing both UNM and Abilene Christian. We'll also be playing in that Cancun Challenge against a few different teams. Probably play against 3, non-D1 schools from New Mexico. That will probably make it the majority of the schedule. I think that's going to be like at least 8 games right there, plus the 20 conference games. So that's already 28. So not sure whether the 3 teams will play. Again, it would be nice if we could play against some high major school. It'd be really dope if we get one to come out here, but that's never going to happen, unfortunately. Those teams don't want to lose games on the road, especially against a Coach Hooten-led team where you have a chance of losing. I don't know what those other 3 games will consist of, but hopefully they're just games that will help us get better and competitive and stuff, because the nice thing about playing those high major schools is it looks better on your schedule. Even if you lose that game, like last year we lost to Texas by 24. Losing by 24 to anybody is not good, but to Texas, it's not horrible, I guess you could say. That was a game where Christian Cook went off and had 22 points. He had 27 the game before against UNM. Had a lot of those 20-point games in both years he was here. Again, just super unfortunate that he couldn't end off the year strong. But again, the defenses were really dialing in on him. But he stepped up on the defensive end and shot really well from the free throw line. So kids, if you're watching this video and you're a shooter and an offensive player, when your shot's not fouling, you can still do a lot of other things other than just score the ball. And again, really open up the floor for Peter and even Rob toward the end of the year. Really looking forward to it. Again, we'll talk more about that when I make that video. And I probably will make another video within the next month or so before the season starts to give another starting 5 prediction. I feel like the video I made last month was pretty good or not last month, it was a couple months ago. I feel like it was a pretty respectable prediction, but I did the same thing last year and kind of switched up a lot. I believe the prediction I made, last year, I think everybody I named in that list did start, but it was, was inconsistent. And it'll probably be like how it is this year. You really don't find your starting 5 until conference starts. I really wish that, we would have started the Schmonger brothers earlier in the year. But it also just didn't work until later in the year. So I understand why Hooten waited a little bit. Ideally, if it would have worked out earlier in the year and they just would have worked off right at the bat, that would have been great. But you can't always get what you want, unfortunately. Jemel Jones is obviously a guy we're going to be talking about in that video, along with Elijah Elliott. I'm not sure if he's 100% healthy just yet. Hopefully he is. We'll talk about a lot of other guys. Julius Mims, I'm really looking forward to watching playing. Maybe I'll play against him. Maybe he goes to the AC or something, play against him, that'd be fun. I've been talking to some of his family. His family's really cool. They're hoping to make it out to a game to watch him play. He played at University of Idaho, as you guys know. My sister goes to Washington State University, so they're like really close to each other. It's like literally a 20-minute drive. It's kind of similar how it is here to UTEP. It's a little bit farther of a drive that direction, but still really close by. And WSU and Idaho actually played each other in the first football game. WSU won by 3 points, but Idaho is a pretty good FCS school, so it wasn't an easy win. Tyrese Mullins, also a guy we talked about a lot, who I think has a chance to do a lot of great things. And Sir Malonga, those are the 5 guys I made my prediction video on. Could be the same 5 I still seem to go with, but if anything changes, obviously I'll let you guys know. Again, we have, a freshman coming in, but a lot of them don't make an impact at a high level right away. And Sir Malonga is more veteran. And I think, with him, being kind of held back his first couple years in college basketball, I think he's ready to get out there and just dominate and kill. That's going to close out for the video today. I really hope you guys enjoyed, and I'm out.